Uh, oh, that's not supposed to be up yet. I was definitely not testing things. Hi, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm a little late. I'm very late, actually. I'm 15 minutes late today. Because I woke up late. That's literally the whole reason why. I woke up late, and I have no other reason. quite literally. I had trouble falling asleep last night. I didn't get to sleep until about 2 in the morning. And it wasn't anything that caused it other than the fact that I was just sleepy. Hello, I'm here. You remember? I do remember. Hi, welcome in. Yeah, so today, you could probably hear it in my voice, actually, how I feel. I still sound a little, like, sleepy. But, yeah, last night I just couldn't sleep until, like, 2 a.m. And there's no other reason other than, like, I just could not sleep. It's a thing that just tends to happen with me. I also didn't take my medicines. Like, I literally just woke up. That's how, like, you can hear my pill bottle. That's my pill bottle. Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta get some water. Where's my water? There you are. Yeah, so, I am Steve. I don't know. I just can't. Sometimes you just have to like struggle through it, right? You just have to struggle through. And, I just couldn't sleep. I don't know. Sometimes we just go through it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just go through it. I gotta make sure that I'm streaming on with the right scene here. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, how are you guys doing today? I was trying to think of like what I did yesterday. Yesterday was my day off. Fridays are usually my day offs. My days off. Not entirely, because I'm always doing something every single day, which kind of sucks. But you know, I like what I do is the thing. The problem is that I like what I'm doing. There's some things, you know, I don't like, right? Some of you just like, for some people, right? You love doing stuff. You ask people who like doing digital art, they'll say, "Oh, I love art. I love doing art." Except when it comes to line art, I hate that. They love just like, you know, there are things that they just don't like, you know? Like, oh, I like this, I like that. Except, you know, this one thing. That's literally how I feel about going live every other day. You love it, you hate it. So, guys, again, normally this is a red primary today, but today is actually a purple primary today, so... hi, welcome in. But the thing is that redeems are also going to be disabled as well, because today is a little bit more of a serious day, and it's here for people who you know, want to be heard, who feel as if they haven't really, you know, been understood, or they want to get some sort of like second opinions on some situations that they've been in. So yeah. That's pretty much what's happening there. All right, I'm going to make coffee. Yeah, I know, guys, I'm slow today. I'm super slow. I don't feel like myself today, because I just woke up. That's probably the reason why. Oh, that person is comfortable with updates. Yeah, I was thinking about that person, you know, last month too, or like earlier this week from last month, and it's something that's always concerning. Though something like, you know, I just wonder. Yeah, I wonder how they're doing. Hi, welcome in. We're just gonna go do some coffee though. We're gonna start that segment we start it usually about 10 o'clock. So, and about 40 minutes from now. So we'll start that segment. All right, let's go brew some coffee. Actually, surprised, I decided not to brew coffee today. Do you know why? Because I'll show you why. Oh, I forgot to brew coffee because my camera's sideways. Let me adjust that real quick. We are not trying to roll 8 of a kind. Let me also change that. Surprise. This is cold brew. This is a cold brew. I made this last night, which is why we're not brewing coffee today, because I brewed coffee yesterday. So yeah, this has been steeping some coffee grinds for this. It's making me feel nauseous. Hold on a second. Are you guys seeing that? Like the whole, it's like pointed upwards. My camera, there we go. There, that feels much better. Boom. Yeah. But I made coffee last night. Not last night, yesterday. Yesterday around noon-ish. So this has been steeping for a while now. And if you guys aren't familiar with cold brew, this is basically what cold brew is. Cold brew is just longly steeped tea. I also have a glass of half milk. I'm going to cut it in half with milk. This is going to be like a very, very strong coffee. So we're going to cut it in half. I also got my good old croissants. Here's also some cold foam as well. This is from pumpkin spice cold foam. So let me show you how this thing works. Okay, so we have an upper chamber and a lower chamber. I'm going to press this little button here. You're going to watch all the thing pop out, or the drain out. So I got to do some stuff here. All right, ready? Ready? Whoa! That's crazy. The easiest coffee brewing I've done in years. Cold brew is so easy to make, guys, by the way. So yeah. Now that that's all drained out, you can still see there's still some like coffee remnants up there. You see, these are all the grinds that are up there. All right, so after that's done, we're gonna unscrew the top here. I'm gonna put the seal back on up here. And then we have a big old canister of cold brew. And this is what it looks like here. Ready? Boom. That's some cold brew. And then we refrigerate this. Okay, on Saturdays. No, we have free run Friday though. We have free run Friday. Every time I see a glass of milk, I think about the glass that splits perfectly in half. What? You know how insane you sound? Do you know how insane you sound? Welcome in, guys. Yeah, so here we have some nice cold brew coffee now with milk. So basically, cold brew is also like a coffee concentrate as well. So like that's why we cut it usually. It's like a really, really strong coffee. And then cold foam, because why not? You can have your cold brew black, but by cutting it with water instead of milk. But I prefer cutting it with milk because it's cool. Look at that. Achoo! Achoo! I'm sneezing. Look at that. Look at that cold brew, though. Welcome in. Rex, oh my god, have you been here before? I'm pretty sure you've been here before. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? I would have the power to not give a shit. Holy shit, I care too much. People say I sneeze like I fake sneeze. People say I sneeze like a fake person. Like I'm making up my sneezes. Which is very, very much not true. I'm not a fake person. I'm not a fake person. I'm a real boy. There's one brand of cold brew I enjoy, black. Everything else has a bitter taste or watery taste. I feel I feel like you are insane. No, cold brew can be made wrong. It really can be. You can leave it not long enough. You can leave it for too long. Coffee is, you know, it is an acquired taste. But yeah. I'm gonna draw my ice cold brew. I'm gonna eat my croissants. And we're just gonna sit here and talk for a little bit while my medicine kicks in. All right, Jade. The glass of milk that splits in half. Hold on, I'm gonna watch this. What the hell? Okay. I know why that happens, but like at the same time, I'm like, okay. I have mid this time. Because that I wasn't here always. No, well, I appreciate it. Thanks for at least showing up. Hi, welcome in. Welcome to the stream. We're just drinking coffee right now. This needs a little bit more cold foam. There we go. Everyone loves a good cold foam. You're making me miss coffee. I ran out a few days ago. The cool thing about coffee is that you can just go to the store and buy some. Or you can go to eatishacoffee.com/AkiraDolce and use my code AkiraDolce at checkout and get some really cool coffee flavors. However, it's really fucking expensive to ship. So that's my only gripe. At least to Canada. That is my only gripe. I love their coffee, except it's expensive as fuck. If you live in the United States, it's perfect, but like, yeah. Literally every time the new flavor comes out, I'm like, ooh, I want to see if I can, if it's not, if the shipping isn't terrible. It's always terrible for some reason. They said they lowered the prices on shipping, and it just has not happened, and I just really want their coffee. But yeah, check out eatishacoffee.com/AkiraDolce, and you can get 5% off of your order. Now this is just a little menacing in the background. I'm getting rid of this. It's a little too menacing. It's a little too menacing. Now all we have now is just to enjoy our croissant and cold brew. I wonder if kids these days. Wow, I want to sound like I'm from the South. I wonder if kids these days drink coffee. Have you heard of PETA? PETA? I've not. Hi, welcome in, Mini-Man. Can you tell I just woke up? Because I'm not bouncing off the walls and over-explaining things? My body is crazy. There's no more fruit in the house, and I really wanted a kiwi or banana. How about you use PayPal and DoorDash that, or was it Skip? What, I don't know how do you what is the delivery systems nowadays? Is it Uber, or is it what is it? I don't even know what it is nowadays that you use to order things and they have it delivered to your house. I know I technically was drinking coffee at like age 12 because we had these like things called cappuccino, or no, Coffee Chino. I can't remember exactly the name, but it was by, like is it Nestle? Hold on, I think it's Nestle. They had these like instant cappuccinos, and you take this powder and you'd mix it into a like a milk, and the milk would like froth up like crazy. No, it's not Nesquik. There was a coffee version of Nestle Cappuccino. It's not Nestle. But yeah, there was a there was like a powder, like an instant coffee powder that would make a really, really frothy coffee drink. And it was a cappuccino. And that was really quick. It's not Nesquik. Nesquik is for like kids. It's like chocolate. No. Nesquik is chocolate. Dunkachino? No. I do know Stray Kids. I don't listen to them. I know that they exist. It's like, do you know Bigfoot? Like, yeah, I know Bigfoot. Do I know him personally? No. Do I know everything about him? Not really. Hi, welcome in. Husband, welcome back. Don't think I forgot about you. I sure did. I remember you. Was the brand Anchor? Maybe. Hold on. I'm pretty sure it was Nescafe. Anchor. Cappuccino. No, it wasn't. It came in a glass. It came in like a glass, not really glass, but like, you know, like a clear plastic case. Like probably put microplastics in my body. Can I have some tea? You can. Nothing beats a good old cup of coffee. I'm probably going to regret this decision by mixing it with milk in about 5 minutes. And there's probably a reason why I don't add cream to my coffee. I'm already kind of feeling it. I think it's the coffee more than it is the milk, though. I always like, I wouldn't say always, but I have milk quite often, right? I have lattes and I have all that stuff. It never really bothers my stomach, but I think what bothers my stomach is when milk is mixed with espresso. Because I can drink a glass of milk just fine. Or wait, no. No, when it's not with espresso, sorry. When it's not with espresso. I can have a latte and like a milk coffee just fine. But for some reason, when I drink milk by itself, that's when my stomach is like, hey. Hope the stream doesn't end early. It's not gonna end early. But I might take an early bathroom break. Ovaltine? What's Ovaltine? What is Ovaltine? I don't know if, the funny thing is I don't even know if I'm lactose intolerant because like my stomach gets upset with coffee sometimes, and then when I drink milk it gets upset, but like when I drink it with coffee and milk it's not upset. Isn't that weird? That's weird, right? Maybe I'm just tolerating the milk, you know? Isn't there a genetic test for, I don't know. Here's the genetic test. Drink milk, diarrhea. If you have 5 apples and someone takes half, they have half an apple. Maybe a different component that's in the milk or something. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I usually never have issues with it. Almond milk or oat milk. Oat milk is way better environmentally. Almond milk uses a ton of water. It takes a lot of resources to make almond milk. which is why oat milk is much better. But oat milk also just has a better taste than almond milk, in my opinion. I prefer soy milk. I'm a big soy milk person, but I don't really know the environmental the comparison to the environmental affliction that each of them do. But I prefer soy milk with a light vanilla taste. Oat milk goes well in coffee. Oat milk goes well with a lot of stuff. Oat milk lattes are like the thing right now. People are still really liking oat milk lattes. I'm a very big soy milk person though. Soy has a lot of protein in it as well. And not like the gay protein that a lot of people think, but if anyone wants to learn about caffeine as a drug, I would love to see that. Caffeine as a drug. Caffeine is definitely a medicinal and also a drug. So, people can get addicted to caffeine or coffee, you know. I feel like caffeine really doesn't do it for me, but, you know, I don't know. Caffeination. Ugh, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna crash this morning. I don't know. I still feel so tired. Everything's your love is my drug. Your love. We can't talk to you without your coffee, yeah. Caffeine is a huge factor when it comes into contact with dairy and the lactose enzyme. Really? Is that why maybe it interacts differently when I have a latte as compared to just milk or coffee by itself? I'm thinking about it now. Like every time I have black coffee, which is every time I stream, I get this like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but like I kind of burp a little bit. I don't know what it is about that. I kind of burp like a little bit, but yeah. Oh yeah, I'm already feeling my stomach feel a little funky. Hi, welcome. Isn't normal coffee black? Coffee is coffee. So, milk coffee is milk coffee. Coffee with milk. What are we doing today? We are doing a segment today called Dear Dolce or Coffee Counseling, and that's going to be a little bit. Tummy ache survivor. Hot girl tummy problems. Why does my stomach hurt so much every time I eat hot Cheetos? I don't know, maybe because you're eating hot Cheetos? I know someone who's allergic to casein, which is an enzyme in milk. Ooh, that sucks. I know somebody who's allergic to grass, so when they're like, go touch grass, they're like, do you want me to die? Do you want me to pass away? Dog, no redeems today, I'm sorry. I'm taking a whole class on drugs. You're taking the whole class with drugs? The whole class is just hotboxing in the classroom. It's different how lactose tolerance because they can't eat they can eat cheese and other milk products. It's so weird. The class is about drugs. Gotcha. Wink. Yeah, it's about drugs. I getcha. Uh-huh. Today's gonna be a day, guys. I don't know, actually, I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, holy hell, am I able to be a normal person and talk about problems today? That is an issue. Last time I did this, I forgot to take my ADHD meds like until halfway through, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm giving advice and I'm spewing like words at like 50 miles an hour and no one can understand me. But my phone is on life support. Oh yeah, your phone died last night. I remember that. Yeah, no, drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. It's always so interesting how the brain works when it comes to stuff like addiction, though, and it's so interesting because like you can technically get like addicted to anything, right? As long as as your brain is reacting to something, you can pretty much get addicted to anything. Like you can get addicted to coffee for sure, but like you can get addicted to things like video games too, because video games have a good they have a you know, they release the dopamine. Oops, why did I do that? Video games release the dopamine. Video games, yeah, they do that. What else? What else can you get like addicted to, which is weird? You can, okay, this is crazy, right? But you can get addicted to adult content. That's something that you can get addicted to. People don't like to talk about it, but you can be addicted to adult content. You can get addicted to gambling. Like gambling is not a substance that you take, right? But you can get addicted to gambling because the dopamine of winning, you know, is you know, it's activating those neurons and stuff. It's so weird of the things that you can get addicted to. I'm addicted to you cause I want it and I need it. I'm addicted to you. You can be addicted to anything. What determines the addiction is and abuse of a substance is your relationship to it. True. Like, me and my relationship with coffee are pretty normal. It's not a heavenly voice. That was definitely an annoying voice. I really freaking love the pop punk voice, you know? People get addicted to chocolate because theobromine. I'm a chocoholic. Are you gonna do Wordle? We are gonna do Wordle. Actually, I don't know. Are we? No, we're not gonna do Wordle. We're not gonna do Wordle today because today's Saturday, and we do Wordle in the evening with Mika and Jam. So, unfortunately, we're not gonna do Wordle in the morning, but we will do Wordle later today, in about 8 hours from now. Oh, sorry, 9 hours from now. Sorry about that. Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays for sure we do them in the morning, but Saturdays I do them with my friends in the evening because they like doing it with me. They're like, Akira, can we do puzzles? We love puzzles. I'm like, yeah, we can do puzzles, and I have to remember not to do puzzles in the morning. Yeah, you guys aren't the only one who really love puzzles. It's also my friends. They also really like the puzzles, which is a really good sign of that I have something good going, right? Because if my friends are like, Akira, can we please do puzzles together? I'm like, that means you guys probably get really, really excited when we do puzzles together too. I'm very smart at puzzles. Yeah, puzzles are satisfying. Puzzles are satisfying. When you get the answer, it's like, whoa! And you feel like your brain's exploding from all the knowledge that you're getting. It sucks for people nowadays because of phones. Dude, yeah, phone addiction is crazy. Phone addiction is crazy. I am someone who is extremely aware of phone addiction. And specifically, algorithmic phone addiction. Things like TikTok and Shorts and Twitter and anything that's like fed to you. TikTok, Twitter, and Shorts are the big ones. I tend to scroll on those a lot. And the problem is that I actually learn a lot from it but also I get fed junk in as well. And so the thing is that when I scroll something that's algorithmic like Twitter or TikTok or Shorts, the moment I notice I'm consuming garbage, I will put my phone down and like do a lap around the house. Or like I'll put my phone down and find an article to read, or like watch a YouTube video that I know has like actual content that I can engage with and be like good about, right? Can you ask math to me? Yeah, x squared minus 2x plus 8 equals 0. Find the value of x. Actually, there doesn't equal 0, sorry. Just find the value of x. Is what is that? Is it the quadratic formula? Is that the quadratic formula, right? No, the quadratic formula is, wait, I'm pretty sure that's it, right? The quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Oh no, minus negative b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's the quadratic formula. That's right. What is like x? That's just like a x squared minus 4x plus 8. Is that quadratic formula? Oh, polynomials. That's right. Polynomials and parabolas. That's what that is. That's amazing, but most kids would never. Yeah. No, even my niece has TV time. And whenever we take care of our niece, when the niece comes over to see Papa and Mama Dolce, they're like, okay, I don't have a name for my niece. But whenever my niece comes over, she has TV time. And TV time is a set amount of time. It's like 30 minutes to an hour or something. I even play video games with my niece, right? And sometimes my niece will want to play video games, and I say like, okay, do you want to play video games? We're gonna have 1 hour of video game time. And so she really likes the Super Princess Peach game. She doesn't like to play it, but she likes to watch me play it. So what ends up usually happening is that I end up playing Super Princess Peach, and then she watches. And then while she's watching, I'll always ask her questions, like, because there's like a figure skating level, and I go, oh look, Peach is figure skating. Do you like skating? I was like, yeah. I was like, when's the last time you went skating? I was like, oh, I went skating with mommy, like last week. I was like, oh yeah, are you good at skating? And she's like, I always fall on my face. Yeah. So I think one of the important things that, like, if you are going to have TV time or screen time with a kid and stuff like that, one of the most important things is to always engage with your child as they are watching, not to wait until it's over then ask them about it. Be present while they're watching the things, and then always ask them questions, make sure they're engaging, because what I've noticed, at least with my niece, is that whenever she's watching something, she tends to not reply. And whenever I ask her about what she just watched, she'll usually just forget. And so I always try to engage her brain. She's like, what is she thinking? What is she doing? And then every single time I ask her stuff throughout the whole time, she's actually able to like tell me what she just saw, because I don't know, maybe she can like point out the times where I said something and she was able to talk about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Whenever you're with a kid and you're watching something, make sure that they're always asking questions. Make sure you're always asking questions and stuff like that. Some of you guys don't have to worry about that, because some of you guys don't have nieces or young people in your life, or you guys don't think are not gonna have kids, or you guys don't really have a lot of that stuff in your your life that is going to be replicable to you. But if that is, if you have a friend that has a kid or whatever, right, or whatever the case, make sure that you're always engaging with the kid as they are consuming media. So, a question for you, you can just ask it. Don't have to ask if you can ask a question. Playing a game called 100 Waves Later. Is it a zombie game? It sounds like a zombie game. That's how I used to play. That's how I used to be with my sister in Skyrim. Did you like ask your sister questions and stuff like that? Oh wow, it's Error. Welcome back, Error. Get. I need to add a redeem. I need to add a redeem every time somebody asks me that question. I need a little trigger to be like, what'd you say? Yeah, we do need a counter. It feels a lot harder to engage with a teenager. Yeah, because teenagers are like, they're always keeping to themselves. Teenagers always keep to themselves. That's just kind of how it is. But teenagers are also criticized often for having their own thoughts, and that's kind of like crazy. For a teenager to have opinions, for them to be shut down, because a lot of the times, teenager or like teenagehood is about fitting in, yet being unique enough to stand out, which is so weird. I always thought that was weird. But take a espresso shot every time you get asked that question. I would die by the end of every stream. Holding an example of what you're discussing helps a lot. At least what I remember when it was helping me when I was a teen. Visual learner. The more involved you get and the more open you are to a discussion, the more there'll be freedom to interact with it. Yeah. Hi, welcome in. Yeah. So, all right. I'm getting it. I definitely am feeling better in the mood to give advice today. I probably will take a BRB and let this coffee do its magic on my innards. So we'll take a quick BRB eventually, but not now. But in the quick near future, I'm going to take a quick BRB. I'm probably going to wash my face too, because my face feels a little funny. I usually shower after stream, but today I feel gross. So I'm probably going to wash my face too. Wash it with coffee. I wonder, is coffee good for your skin? There's a lot of things that are good for your skin, technically. Like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I also didn't use the bathroom when I woke up either, so that's probably the reason as well. So, sorry. I mean, I didn't use the barista room when I woke up. I like your comment. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're gonna have call-ins too. Call-ins are gonna take priority. So if you guys have something you want to talk about or you want to discuss, call-ins will have priority over on Twitch. Also, we will have a marshmallow QA. So, if you want to ask anonymously, you can send a question via the marshmallow as well. Okay. We're gonna take a BRB. I'm gonna go wash my face as well as use a little barista's room. And we're gonna get started. So, yes, I'll be right back. I don't have any like activities for you guys, but you guys will be able to watch the BRB. And I guess people who are watching on shorts are just gonna. I wish I had like a little wind-up toy that kind of like clattered around. That would have been awesome, but I don't. Take a look at this jar of honey, I guess. All right, I'll be back, guys. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, man, I should have just opened up the Q&A so you guys could think about questions. But yeah, we're back now. Hi, welcome back. My name is Akira Dolce. Oh, geez, I got a little stuttering. Did you see that? That was weird. Blah, blah. Okay. All right. Welcome to Dear Dolce. Here's the QR code. It's not there on... Where is it? It's not popping up here. Did my thing not save? Hold on a second. I guess my thing didn't save. Hold on a second. Oh, there it is. Okay, I just didn't have the right button. Okay, is this gonna work then? Yeah, okay. Cool. All right. All right, so yeah, the QR code is now open. I should probably get a tag as well. So just give me a second here while I get that kind of set up. I'm not entirely set up today, guys. Would you believe it? Would you believe that I'm not mildly set up today? I'm glad I'm your favorite streamer. Mods, if you want to pin this on the Twitch side for me, please. Oh, I can't. Frick. All right, mods, if you're here and you're also in my Discord, can you link this thing I'm about to post in the Discord, because I can't right now for some reason? Mod chat, there we go. Wait, that link is technically wrong. Is it still right? Okay, yeah, it's still right. Okay. I think I can do it by myself. Hold on a second. I think I can technically do that by myself. Oh yeah, I can do that. Hold on a second. It's an easy fix. Bum, 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 bum. Can I pin on... Yes, I can pin on YouTube as well. I'm getting a weird stutter. Are you guys seeing that? I'm getting like a weird frame rate issue. When's vent stream? Vent stream is right now. Except I'm having issues loading my shit for some reason. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Yeah, my stream is like slowing down. My computer's slowing down like crazy right now. We're all in our places with such happy faces. Okay. So that's done. My computer's so slow right now. I don't know why. This computer is also very old, and I've been running it like crazy. For a long while, a lot of it was, a lot of my computer time was spent rendering. So I was a video editor, and I did a lot of video editing. And the problem is that I would render people's like entire streams by editing. I would edit stuff out, and then like if I had to edit stuff out, I have to re-render the entire stream, which was not good for the GPU, by the way. So that's kind of the issue. Yeah, my Twitch is not even loading right now, which is a huge problem. I'll start viewer call-ins though right now, so if you guys want to call in. Okay, there we go. Now, as soon as I decide to do call-ins, now it's like, okay, well, now you can do it. Okay. I'm very bad by working in bed. Yeah, that is bad. You should not work in bed because then your brain is like, hey, this is sleep mode. Why are you doing in work mode? I have so much to vent about. Yeah, so if you do the marshmallow Q&A, you can do it anonymously, or if you want to join in on stream as well, we have call-ins. You'll have about, was it 5? Do I have 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Don't worry about that. I think I'm supposed to set it for 10 minutes. So you have about 10 minutes of chat time worth if you do call-ins. Okay. We need the link. I can only text. Yeah, the link is only text. If you want to do call-ins, it's over on Twitch. And that's kind of that's the issue is that call-ins are Twitch. And I do specifically Twitch because it's a lot more safer than on Discord. I guess I could do Discord, but that would require you guys to have, a Discord account. I don't think a lot of you want to join a Discord channel. I guess you guys could. It'd be a good thing to plug my Discord, but okay. Okay. This is gonna be a little crazy because I do this a little weird. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, cool. Now I gotta make sure I'm doing this correctly again because I don't remember how I do this. Cool, all right. All right, cool. Now let's see if I did this correctly. Okay, there we go. All right, you guys aren't gonna get the whole question, but here we go. Okay, so welcome in, guys. Welcome into Dear Dolce, a coffee counseling stream. Today, it's gonna be a little more serious. So I'm gonna tell you guys this now. It's gonna be a significantly more serious stream. So if you guys are not okay with serious talk, also trigger warning, there could be some very deep talks about like things like self-harm or like abuse or whatever. This is gonna be a very uncomfortable stream in some portions. So I just want to warn you guys right now. And yeah. All right, so the first one we have here. How in the hell do I tell my friends I feel left out? For context, I have a group of me and 4 others. Those 4 have been super distant with me lately, and a mutual friend of mine, or me and the group mates, have been asking me how our hangouts have been lately. How is the mall? Did you have a good time at the beach? And I have no idea what she's been talking about. Apparently they've been hanging out tons without me, and they've been distant. I just want to have an honest conversation, and I'm scared. That is a really tough situation for sure. And feel free to chime in, guys, with your opinions and your thoughts and stuff. Yeah, negative comments will be auto deleted. Things like harassment and stuff. I can change that though. 1 second. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Oh wait. How do I? I don't think I can change that. I think harassment is already just like a default thing that's just built in. That's weird. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can change that. Extremely negative will be deleted. That's so weird. Non-AI mode is like a premium feature. What do you mean non-AI mode is a feature? It's usually the opposite way around, isn't it? That's crazy. Anyways. How the hell do I tell my friends that I feel left out? So that is a very, very... I wouldn't say it's a rare one, but it's one that is tough for sure. So I guess the only thing that you can really do, and this is what maybe I would do. It's probably not the best advice, but my advice would be to be a bit more inquisitive of what people are doing over on the weekend. It might come out as like a little bit nosy or whatever, but if they're asking them stuff like, how was the mall? Did you have a good time? Blah, blah, blah. Try to ask those questions yourself and see if you get sort of the same sort of answers. Yeah, when they're hanging out without you, that's kind of, you know, I mean, there could be other reasons as well. It could be things like actual, like travel time. Because I know for me, I lived pretty far out when I was living in Japan. Or I guess this wasn't me. I had a friend that was living 30 minutes away from the rest of our friend group in Japan. So it was much harder for them to impulsively be like, hey, do you want to go grab dinner? Hey, do you want to go head over to this place? Hey, do you want to head over to the arcade? Because for them, it would take them like half an hour to drive over. So a lot of the times it was very, very impulsive. So that's at least what happened with that person. And I understood that like they were a little bit left out in that sort of sense. So what we ended up doing is that we ended up having a time in the month specifically where we all hung out. And it was just like it was kind of like an open thing where everybody was like, okay, well, we're heading over here because this is kind of like our once a month ritual sort of thing. Obviously you're not the person in control of that situation, but that's kind of a situation that I was in and what was worked for us. So yeah, it can be always hard to talk to people, but I think leading without being rude, yeah, that's another thing too. Like, you also just like, I feel like being direct, being like, hey, I've noticed that a lot of you guys are hanging out without me, and I was wondering, you know, if I could hang out more with you guys too. I guess that would be sort of another thing. You know, the thing is that like you have to be, I think the number one thing about avoiding conflict is not to be hostile when you are bringing up a situation that is like tough, I guess, or rough or tough. But yeah, I think that's yeah, I don't really, it's tough. I don't know. I feel for you though. I think the one thing is also you just have to, I think you have to be comfortable with being scared. I think you have to kind of be comfortable also with the fact that there could be negative emotions, that there could be moments of exclusion. And I don't think that you want that in your life. If you're purposefully getting excluded, I feel like that's something that you don't want to happen to you. I think one of the things also is thank you for the follow. I think one of the things is like being, what's the word I'm looking for? Having enough self-respect to realize if you're being disrespected, to not be okay with that as well. So if worst comes to worst, if they are excluding you, I feel like you shouldn't have to deal with that. And if friends are purposely excluding you, I don't think they're really your friends. I didn't want to I didn't want to say that off the bat, but that could be a situation where what's happening is that you are purposely getting excluded for one reason or another. But there's always other reasons too. So it's always good to be honest and to find out the truth for yourself. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I'm sorry if I didn't really answer your question, or if you're feeling if that didn't really give you a satisfying outcome. But yeah, there's always something that will kind of hold you back from trying. And I think the number one thing is to not be afraid, or at least be okay with being afraid of what's being said or what's being done, and be in knowing that if that is the truth, then that you have enough self-respect that you can walk away from it. So all right, next question. Are you trans? I'm not trans. I am a cisgendered male. All right, next question. Next write in. Somebody says, I've been feeling unfulfilled in life as of late. I've done my best to ride things out while getting my degree, but days are wearing on a little more than I anticipated. What do you do when there's something that needs to be done, but you'd rather be doing something else? Life balance. Life balance is a big thing here. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but compared to last month, I'm a lot more slow talking than last time. It's because I actually took my meds today. So that's, yeah. Okay. So life balance is definitely a thing. Congrats on working towards your degree, because that's not always an easy thing. College is one of the most hardest times in people's life, because college consumes your life. I'll be honest with you, college will consume your life, especially the last year of college, because that's when you're writing your theses, that's when you're writing your papers and stuff like that are like the biggest of papers that you'll be writing. If you are an art-based college person, a lot of that will be going towards project time, and you'll have no time for friends. All your time will be consumed doing projects and stuff like that. So I want to say good job for working towards your degree. So I'll start off with that. Unfulfilled though. So I've had this issue. I've had this issue my entire life. Even now I still feel a little unfulfilled. Because, efforts don't necessarily mean results. You can put your whole pussy into something, right? You can strive to be extremely, you can put all your passion into something, and it could just flop. But what I've noticed is that taking time to slow down and really take time for yourself really does help with fulfillment, and doing something that even if it doesn't produce immediate results, the results that you're getting little by little is enough to be like, yeah, I want to keep doing this. Some people will have fulfilling things in their life as simple as waiting for the next chapter of One Piece. There are people who are just like, I really, really like One Piece, and I just really can't wait until the next chapter. And I think one of the things to feel a little bit more fulfilled in life is have something to look forward to, even if it's something small, even if it's just like one day a week. Honestly, we play Zelda once a week on this channel. On this channel, we play Zelda every Saturday, and I always look forward to Saturdays. Do I get anything done on Saturdays or Saturday evenings when we play Zelda? No, but I get to spend time with Mika and Jam, and we get to play Zelda, and we get to talk, and you know, it's something that to look forward to. Also, I'm doing tea time with my family every Monday as well. So my sister and my mom, we all sit down at the dinner table with tea and desserts and stuff like that every Monday morning. And so that's something that I always look forward to, because then I get to hear what my sister's been up to, what my mom has been up to, and we talk, and you know, it's something that is fulfilling, even though nothing is getting done. So being able to have something to look forward to is really, really good for having a fulfilling life. Because, yeah, that's just cause. I have friends, but they're talking to others because I have no money. They come to me. That doesn't sound like they're your friends. You know, as long as they're not disrespecting you. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Is it normal that my friends yell at me frequently? No. Are they doing it maliciously? Because then, yeah. Everyone here sounds like they have fake friends. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. Days are wearing on a little more than anticipated. Yeah, the thing I can say is just have something to look forward to, even if it's just a small thing. What do you do when there's something that needs to be done, but you'd rather be doing something else? The unfortunate part is that you got to get it done. The unfortunate part is that you just got to get it done. There's no way around it. You got to get it done. But, you know, treat yourself afterwards. You did a good job. Go get Dairy Queen. Go get yourself a Dairy Queen Blizzard or something, you know? Okay, I'm just gonna scooch over just a little bit here, just so I can make room. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, why did I do that? I didn't mean to do that. Ignore that. Ignore that. Hey, yeah, but thank you for your question. All right, next question. I struggled to my friends. I'm stressed, and when sorry, I'm having trouble reading this one for some reason. I struggle to my friends. I'm stressed, and when out with family, I get annoyed and can't find out of simply to say shut up. And if I don't, so I sometimes have a panic attack, and they can't help me. But I think it's because of me spending years hiding my emotions, and it becomes second nature. And then I'm able to cry and feel happy for letting myself cry. I'm sorry for lack of punctuation. I have dyslexia. That's fine. No, it's fine that I have dyslexia. I was able to figure it out. Communication is important. Yeah, so it seems to me, and yeah, I'm not, again, guys, I'm not a licensed professional. If you guys are here for professional advice, that's not me. I'm about as reliable as a guy on Reddit. So please take my advice with a grain of salt. It seems like you are having troubles expressing your emotions in a safe environment. That's how I see it. Yeah, the whole, like, you know, snapping and let me just like reread this here. Yeah, the snapping of shut up and stuff like that, and like the panic attack. It definitely is. I feel like you definitely need some sort of regulation of emotions. I don't want to say like there's medication for that, but there is medication for that. But yeah, when you say you think it's from years of hiding your emotion, I agree. it is hard to express your emotions when you are forced to hide them, you know? Coming from a guy, being a male, being a man, it is very, very common for us to be like, you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to show happy, or like you're not allowed to, you know, be whimsical and happy and silly, right? And sometimes you just want to be a silly little guy, and like people will look at you weird for like, you know, being happy. You know, you have to be with guys, man. Men have to be, at least in society, in traditional society, men are required to be stoic and self-reliant and all that stuff, and it's so hard to be able to express that emotion. And so when you are trapped in that bubble of being unable to do such a thing, of course it's gonna leak out. Like, you know, it's kind of like blowing up a balloon, right? It just kind of like gets bigger. The emotions just bottle up and it gets bigger and bigger, and eventually something is gonna happen, right? If it's a water balloon, maybe it springs a leak. If it's a an air balloon, maybe it just explodes completely. But it does definitely seem like you have that issue. Maybe it's also maybe that you don't feel safe with that emotion. The panic attack and they can't help me. Yeah. I think it's also maybe they don't really know how to react when you have a panic attack. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. So, becomes second nature that when I'm able to cry, I feel happy for letting myself cry. Yeah. Yeah. I would just say, I don't really have a solution for this, but I hear you. I hear you, understand you, because being able to cry is a luxury sometimes. So I had PTSD when I was 5 years old. I think that's called childhood trauma. I guess it is technically PTSD. Where's the link? The link should be pinned on every I guess. Oh wait, it's not on Shorts. Hold on, let me go pin it on Shorts real quick. I think that's the one thing I forgot to do is pin it on Shorts. So give me a second here while I do that. Or if a mod is available to do that, I appreciate that as well. Yeah, the most I can say to you is find those moments where you can let it out safely, where you can talk to people about your emotions. I think that's one of the important parts of making sure that you are able to be a functioning person, I'm sorry if that wasn't very satisfying, but I hear you, I understand, and I hope that works out for you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I feel unsatisfied with that answer there. Okay, this next one, guys. This next one is a pretty serious one, so please treat this next one with a lot of respect. This one is coming from somebody who is opening up about a very, very serious situation. So again, please be very, very respectful for this one. All right. So, I guess trigger warning. This is about self-harm, and I don't want to sanitize it, but it does deal with suicide, guys. So, all right. So this next one, how do I stop thinking about offing myself? I'm doing mentally fine and I'm preoccupied and such, but when I'm stressed out or feeling down, those kind of thoughts always come to me. Right now, what's stopping me is a family member that I love so much, but I know the second they will be gone, I won't hesitate to follow them. I've always been a therapist person to my friends. I don't mind this at all, but that's exactly why I feel like I can't tell anybody what I'm going through. I don't think they can help when even I can't help myself. And that's a lie. That is a lie. Your friends definitely can help. Like, just because you're the voice of reason doesn't mean that the voice of reason also needs a voice of reason. The one thing that's kind of important about being human is that we are social creatures, right? We're social creatures. So it's not abnormal to have people that you can rely on emotionally. And think about it this way, right? Think about it as if you are the head chef in a kitchen, right? So you know a lot of stuff. You know how to navigate the kitchen. You know what to do in the kitchen. You know when something goes wrong, you know how to deal with it and stuff like that. Everybody that you know that you have helped in that kitchen now has a little bit of experience from the head chef themselves. They may not be able to do the same things that you are able to do. They may not have the same knowledge as you do, but now they know how to navigate the kitchen just a little bit better. And a head chef by themselves can't serve a 5-course meal on their own. It's just not possible. They can't make a banquet on their own. So I think you need to have like a little bit more trust in your friends, in the fact that they will be able to help you. Because they're smart. And if you are there for them, listen, if you're there for them, they'll be there for you. That's kind of like, a thing about that. About offing yourself. I really don't have an answer. Every single time this comes up, it's sort of like, kind of give yourself a reason to live. And sometimes it is hard to give yourself a reason to live. It's not a very easy thing to find. Hi, welcome in. It's not a very easy, it's hard to find a purpose sometimes. I've had these feelings. I've had these feelings, those kinds of feelings in high school. I've had those feelings in college. I had those feelings like last year. It's really easy to think about the end without a plan, right? But when you say that there's one family member that is kind of stopping you, and at the moment they're gone, you feel like you could follow them. I don't want to. I just want to say that I don't feel like that's true. I feel like you have a lot of emotional attachment to this person. And maybe that's why it's stopping you. Like you say, you're doing mentally you're doing fine, but when you're stressed out or feeling down, it's very normal. One of the very, very normal things I've heard a lot from people over the years is they say, I just want to put myself in stasis. I don't want to die, but I just don't want to live right now. And it's a very, very normal thing, because when you're overwhelmed and you have a lot on your plate and you have a lot to think about, it is very, very easy to put yourself in the mindset of like, I just don't want to deal with this right now. It should be so much easier if it was just like not there. If I just wasn't here, I wouldn't have to deal with this sort of thing, right? So, ow, sorry. I think one of the important parts is to just kind of realize why that's happening and just kind of not falling for it. That sounds like a really, really like stupid cop-out answer, but the answer is kind of true. If you're doing mentally fine, and then like you'll have moments where like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. Yeah, I wish you would just like how to end. I wish I would end. But the fact is that it's an emotion that feels really, really strong in the moment, but I think as long as that emotion doesn't get overwhelming, I feel like you'll be fine. But it doesn't negate the fact that you have those strong feelings about that. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If anybody wants to chime in with their answers, go right ahead. Unlearning is tricky, yeah. Right. Thank you for your question. And thank you for opening up. I worry about you, mysterious person. So thank you. Thank you for your question. Okay. All right. How is everybody else doing? Okay, I'm just gonna mark these as red. Okay, next question. Next question. Is it normal my friend makes me very uncomfortable when she asks me to speak Spanish so she can translate it? Even though I know English very well, she also yells at me frequently. So I feel like I need a little bit more context here. Your friend makes you very uncomfortable when she asks you to speak Spanish so she can translate it. That's like, you know, it's weird. Like, is your friend learning Spanish? Like, is that why? Like, maybe they're learning Spanish and they just really want to like improve on it. That's the only reason why I think they would want you to speak Spanish to them. I don't really know. If that's the case, you're not responsible for their education in Spanish. And if they're yelling at you to do that, then like that's not appropriate. It's not really appropriate to yell at anybody, unless they've like really slighted you. And I don't think not speaking in Spanish is just it's you know. I don't think that's very. I don't think that's very Gucci. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, that's not normal. That's not normal. Yeah, the whole Spanish thing though, I would say it's just that maybe they want to like practice their Spanish more, but you're not responsible for their education or their learning, right? So, but I don't really know. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if somebody wasn't speaking Japanese to me. I would love to learn more Japanese, but like, you know, maybe it's like a two-way street. Tell them not to yell at you. That's not good. All right. That's all pretty much I have to say is that like, yeah, that's not normal. And, you deserve better than that. Okay. Thank you for your question though. Next question. Okay. Let me just quickly, this is a little bit of a read, so let me just proofread this one. Okay, so this is an update from last month, guys. This is an update from last month. If you guys were here in March, this has been an update for somebody, and it's not gotten better. It's not gotten better, but there has been an update. So, again, it says major trigger warning. This is like talks about suicide and talks about self-harm. So please be considerate when replying here. Okay. Hello, it's me again. The one with the friend. Again, major trigger warning. I'm going to be blunt. They're still alive. I sat them down and talked and just talked and talked. I told them how I was worried for them, and if anything was going on, that I was there, or at least I knew professionals that could help. But I think I messed up. They're alive, yeah, but I think they're still doing self-harm and refusing to get help. I'm scared it's going to happen soon. They canceled all their subscriptions and stuff. I just don't know what to do. I want to tell adults we're minors, but at the same time, I'm scared and they'll just make it worse. Yeah, so that is a tough situation. Uh, so I don't think you messed up in talking and being concerned. I think maybe depending on what you talked about could have been maybe triggering for them, maybe depending on what you talked about. I don't know exactly what you talked about, but it could have maybe been triggering for them as well. I know a lot of people as well, when they have those kinds of thoughts, they feel as if that kind of talk is manipulative. And so I'm not saying that maybe that's what they were thinking, but you know, that's possible. And then it just makes them feel worse in general for even having those thoughts. But a lot of the time also is that, like, I feel like a lot of those people don't really want those thoughts. I don't think anybody really wants those thoughts, you know? They're always very, very intrusive. But I don't think you messed up unless you kind of like antagonized them. Otherwise, I think it's fine that you talked to them and that you showed that you were worried about them. The self-harm stuff is always bad. The one sad thing that I can say about this whole situation is that you can't help somebody if they don't want help. And I think that's a really, really harsh reality, is that if somebody doesn't want help, you can't help them. And that's really hard to come to terms with, because you can do all you want to help this person. You can put your whole, like, all the power that you have to help this person, but if the rope is too short, it won't reach them. And that's really, really hard. I don't want to say it's like, it's useless and that you should just give up, but it's, but that's a sad reality that has to be said. Honestly, I don't know about telling an adult either. I know that it wouldn't hurt. But maybe there's a sense of betrayal if you did tell an adult. But also, what is, I don't have the answers here, but yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm still just reading over your things and seeing if I can, like, say anything else about it. I do think that talking to them, at least, was a good start. As for if or when it happens, I don't know. It's rough. Yeah, it's hard because they're a minor too. Yeah, if they were an adult, it'd be a little bit different, but they are a minor. So that is rough. The one thing I can maybe think about is, like, maybe their parents. I think if you want to go with a little bit of an indirect approach, maybe, and again, this might not be the best advice, please take my advice with a grain of salt. Maybe ask the people present in their lives if they've noticed anything themselves, and not just to mention, be like, it's like, I've noticed that so and so has been cleaning the room a lot more. I noticed that, like, oh, they don't really watch Netflix anymore. Well, they canceled their Netflix subscription. And, and just ask, how other people feel about the situation. Obviously, I probably wouldn't mention the self-harm part, but, you know, I feel like maybe if you had that sort of same, if you knew other people had the same concern, that you wouldn't feel so alone in the battle of trying to help your friend. It's very, like, man, I wish I could give you the answers. I wish I could help you, but there's nothing I can do really that could, like, I'm not a professional, so I don't. But yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, it sucks because, again, they're not even an adult, and you know, life. I'm not gonna be like a little positive. I'm not gonna be extremely positive and be very cheery about it. Extremely, like, that everything is all rainbows and butterflies, right? But life never really gets easier when you have those, you know, when you have those situations in your life. I've actually had to deal with, I didn't know this person personally, but I did know there's been a number of young deaths in my hometown, and that's something that I had to be like, that is crazy. But yeah, I just really do hope for the best for you and your friend. Yeah, I was like, because a lot of the times they'll feel like they're being manipulated if you feel like their emotions are being tongued out or they're not being heard. I don't know. I think the whole situation is scary too. Not gonna lie, I think the whole situation is very scary too. So, I don't know. Tell them, tell them I'm afraid for them, that I care about them. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I was throwing a little joke in there, just maybe to lighten the mood a little bit. But yeah. My only advice is to just be there for them, really. So yeah, thank you for the update. I really appreciate that, and you know, I hope things go much better next month, when we do the segment, if you show up again next segment. So I appreciate that. I will we'll do what we can. We do what we can here. Okay, thank you for the write in. I wish I was a bit more professionally trained in this, because I do like learning about you guys, and I do like learning about how you guys have been doing. But, you know, I might not be the best person to ask, but I appreciate that you've come to me anyways. So, all right, next question. Do you know how insane you sound right now? I sound so insane. I sound crazy. I'm not real. I'm not real. I'm extremely insane. Okay. Next question. Next right in. I'm tired. It's not sleep, it's stress. I go to school and extracurriculars about 50 hours a week. Any tips on decompressing? Yeah. So 50 hours a week. Did you know that is more than full time? You are doing stuff more than a full-time worker, which is insane. So holy hell. Yeah, so stress is always hard to deal with. I think the number one thing that I can say for dealing with stress is putting yourself in situations where you don't have to think about the of what to do next. Why is your neck getting longer? Because I have a long neck. I can't click the link. Copy and paste it and put it into a browser. For de-stressing, yeah. So what I do to de-stress is I literally just either like put on my Switch. I turn my Switch on and play a game that is like literally mind-numbing. Things like what's the game I've been playing? Like any sort of RPG that you basically just press menu buttons. Read a book. Just give yourself time to de-stress. And I know 50 hours a week is not enough time for that. But you know, find those oases in your life where you can slow down. Easier said than done, honestly. And I guess one of the things also, as I've said this before, give yourself something to look forward to, because when you are doing something stressful, and the next thought is, oh, I have to do this next stressful thing, right? Your mind is just going to be like, oh God, my life is so stressful. But the moment you give yourself an oasis, the moment where you're just like, oh, this weekend I get to play Zelda with my friends. You know, it'll take some of that burden off of, oh God, I have to do this next thing. Oh, I have to do this next thing. Oh, I have to do this next thing. When you give yourself a moment where like, I get to do this next thing, it gives you more of a bit more of a positive vibe in your life. So that's something. Well, I always give the advice of, when it comes to stress, is give yourself something to look forward to. Can't copy and paste? That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, for me the link is blue. Yeah, for me the link is blue on both sides. It's crazy. I don't know. So that will help maybe mitigate some stress, as in terms of when you have the time. Yeah, just immerse yourself in the moments where you can, and give your brain the ability to not think about the next stressful thing. Also, having somebody in your life that it doesn't give you stress, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel like you can slow down. That's another good time, or a good thing to have. So I wonder if that helped you, or maybe gave you some ideas. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I have a question. You can use the QR code, or you can use the link. Okay. So thank you for your question. I hope that answered your question. If not, I am sorry, and but I hope that you can have a little bit of a rest and respite in your life. Next question. Haha, next question. I'm always mad at my friends. They don't do anything. It's just me. Every little thing that isn't perfectly done in my brain, I get mad about. Should I get checked out? I got mad over my friend for putting a cup in a cup holder, for goodness sake. Yeah, I would say that's not normal. I would say like that's a little... Now, I have a question. Is it really your friends that are upsetting you, or is there something else maybe that is upsetting you that's kind of leaking into other aspects of your life? That's the first thing that I'm thinking of, is that like, are you stressed out about something else, or are you pissed off about something else, and then like they just happen to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? That's what I'm thinking. Every little thing that isn't perfectly done in my brain, I get mad about. That sounds like OCD. It sounds like you have some sort of deal with control. Not that it's the worst thing. Not that it's the worst thing, but it does feel like maybe that anger is coming from somewhere else as well. But also, yeah, being a perfectionist sucks. So That's all I really have to say. Maybe a trauma response. Yeah, maybe a trauma response even. Should I get checked out? I mean, I'm always an advocate for mental health. So, you know, if there's somebody you could talk to professionally, ideally not me. If there's a professional that you could talk to, that would be, you know, probably beneficial to you. But yeah, I think it's OCD and like perfectionism, which you know, I feel like that's normal, but you know, it's normal to feel like you want things perfectly, right? But the thing that is not healthy, I should say, is letting that overwhelming emotion take control. And so the best that I could say about that is just to take a step back and not yell. For one, is just to not yell it and let it come out negatively. If you can have that conversation where you know this sort of perfection, there's this perfectionist does come out, and you have friends that are, you know, supportive and not antagonistic about it, I think that would also that would help a lot. Obviously you can't just have that, you have to have that conversation. But yeah, I understand the perfectionism. I'm a little like that with my projects. So I hate to be like, yeah, just don't be a perfectionist. Unfortunately, some people can't just do that, you know? It makes me sad that people antagonize this type of person, like they're harming others. That's bad, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, some things are like involuntary. I feel like this is definitely an involuntary reaction. So whoever sent this in, the fact that you acknowledge that this happens is already a good step, like already a good sign. I would say that's already amazing of you that you're able to notice this about yourself. I think maybe the next step going forward from here is, you know, understanding when it's happening, or like the things that set you off, or like the things that are maybe adding to it, and then seeing if you can mentally deal with that. I think that might be a next good step to mitigating some of the tension in your life in that sort of way. So thank you. A lot of angry people today. Angry friends, angry people. That's okay. Emotions are normal. Thank you for sending that in. I appreciate that so much. And we'll move on to the next question here. Okay, next question. Let me just quickly read over this just in case. The long ones are usually I have to spend a little time and make sure that it is appropriate and not like okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. I hate school. Last year, this boy in my class told me to do some not very good things with him over an older plus. He told / got handsy with some of my friends. For context, he's done this to boys and girls. Anyways, we've told the staff principal and vice principals 13 times altogether, all 25 of us. They've done nothing. In fact, I was put in his class again this year and he hasn't changed. No punishment, nothing. Now I just don't want to go to school anymore. That is a big problem. Big problem. So yeah, I agree with you. That is not a very good situation, and I don't blame you for not wanting to go to school for that reason only. So yeah, sorry, I was just refreshing my feed. Sorry. So what I have to say to that, something should be done. Something definitely should be done. The thing is that you guys have told staff, principal, and vice principal, but have you guys told your parents? Crazy, I know. Have you guys told your parents that you have been sexually harassed at school by a student? Because if your parents go to the school and go to the school board about this, a lot more will be done. I guarantee you that a lot more will be done if your parents get involved. The important part is making sure that your parents do reach out to the principal and to the vice principal and the school board. So I would say the number one thing is have all 25 of you tell your parents that say, hey, this student is a problem. They are sexually harassing us. Sexual harassment is not good. It makes me not want to go to school. I don't feel safe at school. If you tell your parents, I don't feel safe at school, that is a big issue that cannot be ignored. Especially if it comes from multiple people. Now, the problem herein lies with what the staff and the school board does afterwards. If they still don't do anything, that's a huge problem. The best I can say at that point is that maybe, and again, this is a big old maybe, that police get involved. I understand you guys are still in school. Maybe I'm not sure if you're high school or middle school or whatever school, but if it comes to it, if nothing gets done, yeah, I mean the police can get involved. It's not the ideal situation, but if worse comes to worse, if it still happens, if it escalates even further, then yeah, the police can get involved. And if their parents don't do anything about this behavior either, then that's not cool. So yeah, if this kid's parents aren't even told either, I mean, yeah. People are strange. They are strange. People are weird. Okay. Oh, they just literally sent an update just now. I have not told my parents because they're unsafe. My friends have told their parents and they think we're exaggerating. So yeah. I see. Yeah. Okay. That is a problem now, isn't it? Yeah. The parents should I definitely feel like parents should take their kids more seriously. This is what I would do. I don't know if this is the right answer. But literally, like, go to your parents one at a time as a group and be like, hey, listen, this is what's happening. This is what they're doing. This is what this kid is saying to us. We don't feel safe going to school. I don't want to go to school if this is happening. I feel like they'll maybe take you more seriously. Even if you guys are going to your parents individually and saying like, hey, this is happening, and they don't take it seriously, literally, just go in together as a group to your parents one at a time. You'd be like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm literally not alone. This is all that. Do you think we're lying? Child protection services. Yeah. That's not good. It's so not good. The one thing I can maybe suggest as well is that Is this happening during free periods and stuff like that, like recess and like free periods? If it's happening in class, if it's happening in class, I feel like your teacher should know. Your teachers should know. So that sucks. It sucks. If it's happening during free period, have a supervisor or a teacher like float around this person. Be like, hey, right? I don't see yours in here. Maybe it got swallowed by the sensor. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, oof, man, I don't know. Yeah, worst comes to worst, you get the police involved, but like that's like worst case scenario in my opinion. Yeah, depending on how old you guys are too, it can be bad. I know for me, I know that sexual harassment in my classrooms have been as early as grade 3, third graders, like 8-year-olds. And it's freaking crazy that 8-year-olds are like being little sex pests. They don't even know what sex is, but they are like little sex. Well, maybe they may not know what sex is. But yeah, it's crazy. The sexual harassment situation is crazy. Thank you for your for writing in and the update literally just moments after me reading that. So I don't have a full answer for you, but I hope that was enough to. It's a long 3-paragraph one. I don't see a 3-paragraph one here. Yeah, it might have gotten eaten up. Yeah, I don't like how the parents aren't doing anything about it either. Here's another like worst case scenario thing. Band together as students and literally boycott going to school because you feel unsafe. It is totally normal for you guys to not go to school because you feel unsafe. I will say this again. If you do not feel safe at school, you should not be forced to go. That's just me. So yeah. Yeah. Literally just boycott the school. Be like, hey, yeah, we're not gonna go. I'm not gonna go to school because I do not feel safe. And if your parents force you to go, then don't go. They're gonna ground you? Yeah, well, what's worse? What's worse, being grounded or being sexually harassed, Worst comes to worst. That's the worst comes to worst scenario. Probably not the best solution, but man, I would not. If I go to school every day worried if I'm going to be sexually harassed, that's, there's like, no, I'm not going to go to school. Considering their parents are being nonchalant, they're probably being forced. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a rough situation, that's for sure. All right. Here's a one that's interesting. This is not really much of an event or an advice one. This is more like a pick your brains one. So thank you for writing this one in. So I think this one's a really, really good, interesting topic to talk about. All right. So this person writes in, why do you think there's such a fixation on love in today's society? I mean, the alternative is immediately abysmal, but a romantic love in particular seems to have this crown on its head. Does somebody have to change to be loved? Is being loved as you are such a wonderful idea? But having a low self-esteem and confidence seems to be the deal breakers. And when it comes to finally experiencing it in the real world, confidence seems to be deal breakers when it comes to experiencing it in the real world. There are countless platitudes and pretty words to be said about finding the time to love yourself, But does that mean that you aren't able to obtain love from an outside source until you do? Is it really that conditional? So we have to be members to send messages. Is that true? I have it set to everybody. Okay. All right. So let's talk about if I don't know if I got it or not, but yeah. I don't see a 3-paragraph one, that's for sure. Okay. So this conversation about fixation on love and like loving yourself and is it, you know, having self-esteem. So this is me coming from somebody who has gone through a bunch of love situations and romance and dating, I guess. But there is a truth about having self-esteem and confidence before getting into a relationship, and the reason why isn't because like, oh, you're not worthy of love until you love yourself. The problem with going into a relationship with a low self-esteem and no confidence is that when you get into that relationship with somebody, you have a dependence on that person to give you that, you know, to give you that self-confidence and to give you that self-esteem and to make you feel good about yourself, which is not a healthy thing, typically, right? Because at that point, there is a power imbalance. This person has power over you. This person has the ability to make you do things because they're the one supplying you with the ability to be confident and to be, you know, and to be, you know, appreciated for not just, you know, for very superficial reasons. So the problem is not that, oh, you need to be confident and you need to have a high self-esteem in order to be in a relationship. The problem is if you don't have that, you can be put into very, very dangerous situations. So that's that part. Is somebody, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Is somebody deserving of love if they don't have that? Like, absolutely. But when you are faced with somebody who has a power over you, that can be really dangerous to you, especially if that person is a narcissist. Please tell me you got it. I don't know. I don't think I got it. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. So yeah, a fixation on love on today's society, I don't think it's there. I really don't think it's there is a fixation on love in today's society. I don't see it. I think it's maybe because I'm not surrounded by it personally. I have always been a very goal-oriented person. I have things I need to strive to have in my life. Love was one of them. It's not now. Because I already feel loved by the stuff that I can accomplish. Like, I have a lot of self-love and a lot of confidence. So I don't need it from an external source. But there's also this thing called the population. There's this thing called babies. So I think one of the things is that when you don't have a partner, when you're not married, when you're not whatever, there's going to be less babies, right? So that's probably why. Yeah, I don't see it personally. But yeah, I would say that it's not that conditional, but it's dangerous. Oh yeah, they sent me an email. I saw the email pop up. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't see this fixation on love and romantic love. My parents do. My parents want me to get married when I'm like I'm already 37. I'm 37 years old, and my parents want me to get married. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm so focused on being on having the future I want. So I don't see that in my life. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think love is very talked about in media, and that everyone craves it, kinda, not like rare anymore. Maybe I just don't watch enough TV. Maybe I don't watch enough like fiction or like dramas or whatever. I just, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't have it. Other than that, yeah. So, yeah, if you are feeling as if, and then this is me projecting, right? But if you feel like you are being forced to love yourself in order to be loved, the answer is that it's not true, but be aware of people who are trying to manipulate you for that. That's why asexuality is demonized. Yeah, because no babies. You're not making babies. Thank you for writing in. No, that was a good write in. Thank you so much. This next one comes from someone. It's all anonymous. Let me just like quickly proofread this, just in case there's something that's not so good. Okay, this is a good one. So this person writes in. Is it this one? Yeah. So I think I should quit my dream or at least turn it into a hobby. I'm in university doing graphic design, but as of recently, my friends and parents say because of AI, the fact that it's art, I'll have no career. Usually, I would just brush it off, but it's been happening for months and I'm sick of it. I love art, but maybe I should do something better like nursing or engineering. So I will tell you this now from somebody who has existed before AI and has gone to university before the whole AI thing. Every single person will tell you art is not a career. There are so many people that'll be like, art doesn't pay the bills. Art's not a career. There's no need for art. Art can be done by anybody. Blah, 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 blah. It's been a thing for years. AI has not changed that. AI hasn't made it more accessible for people to have the ability to create images, but as of right now and possibly in the future, AI is only as good as the information being fed to it. Do you guys remember the Will Smith eating spaghetti thing? It's freaking garbage. And now it's like pretty convincing, right? But the thing is that why is there a use for that? is the one thing other than to be like manipulative and to be, you know, to confuse people and to spread misinformation and stuff like that. So far, AI has only been really done to do that. I guess there's been some positive, like Toy Story 4 used AI to create the spider webs. That was a good use of AI. But the problem is that with AI, there's no human interaction. There's no human expression in AI. It is just what a computer thinks human expression is. Nothing will ever beat genuine human creation. So, for your dream job to be in graphic design, there is always a demand for you, especially in graphic design, because art is always changing as well. Art is always looking to try something new, whether it is using, you know, paint on a different kind of canvas, using a different kinds of paints on canvas, using different types of digital techniques, creating different sort of line work, creating different sort of blends of colors, impressionism, iconism. You know, there's so many different ways that you can express art that has not been expressed yet. So anybody who says that, oh, like you can just put a prompt into a generator and this thing will just pop out a song, right? And then you could just listen to it's infinite music. It just creates music. The thing is that whenever I listen to these AI music, because I'm somebody who specializes in music, right? For somebody who specializes in music, I can tell when there's a lack of emotion in a song. When a song has a really, really strong emotion, you can feel it. That's also why I kind of like Green Day. I mean, I do like Green Day. I like Green Day because there is a lot of emotion. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of despair. There's a lot of emotion that is put into Green Day's songs. And sure, you can recreate that in AI, but there's no recreating that emotion. If I shit in my hand and smear on the wall, is that art? If you want it to be. Yeah, it can be. So art doesn't need to have a statement as well. Art can be made for the sake of art. Art is human expression. If your expression of rubbing shit all over the wall is to be like, I want to prove to people that art can be fucking anything, then yeah. Then that's a statement. Art can be anything. That's a statement. If you want to be like, I just want to rub my shit all over the wall, then like, yeah, then you can just rub shit all over the wall, and it's just shit all over the wall. I don't really like this person. I'm gonna ban you. So yeah. Art can be, so art is whatever it is that you want it to be, and art is always going to be in demand. Hold on a second. Oh, you're on. I was like, wait, why can't I see you? It's because you're on Twitch. Usually the shitlords come from YouTube. This is what I get for not having things readily available. Yeah, yeah, yours is next coming up here. Okay. Okay, so this person sent it in via email here. So there is no sign for this one. Yeah. So again, I'm just before I close this one out here. I don't think you should give up on your dream. If you are passionate about it, you will make it happen. That's the kind of like the thing, is that if you are passionate about what you do, you will make it happen. It might not be in the way that you want it to at first, but you know, you'll make use of this situation, and you'll take advantage of every situation you can to make your dream come true if you really put your heart into it. So yeah, AI is not going to take your job. AI isn't going to take over humans. It's not going to take your job. The information used for AI is only as good as, or the output of AI is only as good as the information put in. And there's been a huge, I've seen a lot of people start pushing for control of AI, especially from the movie studios. So yeah, thank you for your for writing in. All right, this next one. Hey Akira, I want to be honest with you. Sorry, let me just read this real quick. Make sure there's nothing in here that I don't want to read out, just in case. Okay. So, hey Akira, I wanted to be honest with you about how this year started for me. It began with a breakup that really hurt. I understand that. Not long after that, I found myself in a pattern where people didn't treat me the way I deserved. I felt like I was being valued for the wrong reasons, and that took a toll on how I saw myself. Everything just kind of piled up at once, and it's been hard trying to make sense of it all. On top of that, my mental health hasn't been great, and I've been dealing a lot of sadness, feeling low, and some days it's been difficult to keep going or feel okay in my own head. It's like everything that happened just weighed down on me, and I've been trying to process it while also just trying to get through each day. I don't always know how to explain it properly, but it's been a struggle. I've been telling you this because I trust you, and I don't want to pretend I'm fine when I'm not. I'm trying to get through it and take things one step at a time, even if it's slow. It would mean a lot just to have someone who understands and doesn't judge me for what I've been going through. Yeah, I completely understand that. So, first off, breakups are always hard. Breakups, you know, you have an emotional attachment to somebody and then they're gone. That's always harsh. That's always rough. That's your support is now gone. Your ability to regulate yourself, or a way to regulate yourself, to regulate your emotions, is now gone. So breakups are always hard in that sort of sense. People didn't treat me the way I deserved. That kind of. So I'm kind of confused by what you mean by that. Because I just honestly, I don't know how that reads, because the way I deserve being valued for the wrong reasons, that one just kind of confuses me, really. Yeah, self-image is always a rough thing. Self-esteem, self-image, all that stuff. I guess one of the important things about being observed by other people, because that's basically it, being observed by other people, is that they start to form opinions about you, and then their opinions affect you. The important part is to know when something isn't true about you, and to acknowledge that the way people see you is not always how you are. It's going to be, it's rough and it blurs the line sometimes, but like how people see you is not who you truly are. And that's something that comes with self-discovery. How I see that, I don't know if you've ever played Persona. But a lot of this stuff is what a lot of the characters in Persona go through, specifically Rise Kujikawa in Persona 4 and An Takamaki in Persona 5. These are two people in the game that they felt like they were valued for the wrong reasons as well, specifically with how they look. They're like, one of them's an idol, one of them's like a model, right? So they are people who are immediately judged by their looks and what they and how they're on TV and stuff. So on top of that, mental health has not been good. Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, mental health stuff. Self-image will always take a hit to your mental health. How you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. And you know, good for you for taking things one step at a time. So yeah. Yeah, I don't, you know, again, I don't really have much to say about this. I feel like you've kind of already have the pieces that you need to move forward from this, especially because, like, you know, you went through a breakup. Your self-image is, you know, kind of the forefront, and people are, you know, I don't know if they're sexualizing you, or like they're putting you on a pedestal of some weird pedestal of some sort, or if like they are degrading you based on whatever. But the thing is that you need to remember is that you know the truth about yourself. You know who you are. You live your life. They don't live your life. They don't know every aspect about your life. And what you hold important is not the same as what they hold important about you. So, and it's good to just express that, you know, in ways that you can. So, yeah. Thank you for writing in. I appreciate that. Next one. Next. Thank you guys for writing in so much, by the way. I appreciate it. Okay, this one, I like this one. Because this is something that happens a lot. Somebody actually wrote something earlier. Yeah. Ew, don't like that. Okay. All right, this next question. I like this question, or this I like this the person who I like what this person wrote in. Okay, so I want to know if I'm not crazy. I think my bullies are bullying me over something stupid. Chances are, yes, they are. If you're bullying anybody over anything, that's already a stupid reason. I'm in middle school, by the way, and I read books that are older classics like Robin Hood, Of Mice and Men are my favorite. I love Of Mice and Men, by the way. It's a really good book. And I get bullied for that. Is that stupid? Yes. Yes, it's really fucking stupid. It's really stupid. One of the things that I could say about like making fun of somebody for what they like, especially when it's older, it doesn't make any sense. It's literally the stupidest reason to make fun of. Like, it's okay. Have you guys like listened to music before? Crazy. I know music is this concept that we all do. Sometimes we listen to it. Sometimes we use our ears. Sometimes we sing to it too. It's crazy. But like, imagine making fun of somebody for liking 80s music or 90s music, right? Like, music is music. It's good, right? Like, imagine making fun of somebody for liking like classical music too, like Mozart or Chopin or Wolfgang Beethoven. You know, it's weird. Debussy, right? I love classical music. I liked classical music when I was in high school. And, you know, if somebody's like, "Oh, he's weird. He likes classical music." Like, Yeah, so I like what I like. The thing is that you shouldn't let other people's own personal preferences, by the way, again, own personal preferences. You shouldn't let that determine whether or not you like something, because, you know, we're all different. We all have different things that we like. We all walk different types of lives. And so if somebody's making fun of you for liking something, then, like, I don't know, make fun of something that they like. Oh my god, you watch sports? Why don't you play a sport, you loser? Why don't you play NFL? Huh? You're not good enough to be in the NFL. Oh, pff, wow, you like sports. That's crazy. Yeah, you see how stupid I sound? You see how insane I sound by just making fun of somebody who likes sports? So, like, yeah, it is dumb. You're not crazy. Your bullies are stupid for bullying you for something that you like. That's also very harmless as well. Like, I understand if, like, somebody were to bully you over the fact that you, I don't know, would, and this is crazy coming from my mouth. I understand if somebody were bullying you, but, like, if you were, like, into, like animal torture, right? If you were, like, into animal torture, I would think that's fucked up, because, like, nobody should want to torture animals. That's a really fucked up thing, and I feel like people should be bullied for that. But, like, you know, it's not, you know, it's as long as what you're reading is harmless, as long as what you're consuming is harmless, it doesn't affect anybody else, why are you being bullied over it? You're not making them read it. You're not making them want to enjoy it. So, like, what's it to them to bully you over something that you like? What's the main gossip here? Oh, this is a write-in. Ideally, people should be respectful, but yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thank you for writing in. Yeah, you're not stupid. You're not crazy. You're not insane. Like what you like, and as long as it's not hurting anybody, you're fine. You're good. Thank you for writing in. All right, next question. Okay, let me just read through this real quick. I see. Okay, so it's this person writes in, I'm terrified of showing my true self to my friends because I'm introverted, and I'm scared they'll judge me, so I pretend to be an extrovert and make them smile even though my heart is ripping itself apart because of problems at home, religious trauma, and mommy issues. I understand that. It's normal. Guys, it's normal. It's very, very normal to feel that way. One of the things is about this that I've seen and that I've experienced for myself, because I'm an introverted person, and you see me, I'm streaming, that it takes like a lot of extrovert energy to do that. But you know, it's normal to put on that face. It is very, very normal to put on that face. Is it healthy? Debatable. Being scared that you'll be judged, everybody's afraid of being judged. Everybody's afraid of being judged at every given moment. It's 100% a thing that happens in life everywhere. DMC notice takedown for blah blah blah. That's not even for my account. That's for an account I manage. Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with that later. Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing is that everyone wears a mask. Everyone wears a mask that hides their true self. It's kind of a fact of life. The way you treat your parents is going to be different than from how you treat your friends. This is how you're going to treat your boss, how you treat your lover, etc., etc. Everyone wears a mask. You just happen to have the mask that is an extrovert in front of your friends to see them smile. The important part is knowing when to take off that mask. to know when it's safe to take that mask off. You're always going to have anxiety of being judged, but you're never going to have that release of that emotion until you have that moment where you can take off that mask. So my only advice to you here, if you are looking for advice, is that you shouldn't let this mask feel like it's controlling you, because it's just a mask, right? Find those people, or find those moments, or find that space where you feel like you can really take off that mask, that you can feel understood, that you have a place that you can be like, okay, I'm feeling very down today. I don't have to make everybody happy. And the problem is that also you don't have to make everybody happy. You don't have to make everybody, feel happy all the time, to feel like you're exciting, to feel like you're, the cool person. It's always like, I feel like I need to fit in and be happy and be well liked. Is the problem is that you don't need that. You actually don't need to be well liked. Outcasts usually, from my experience and from my understanding of life, a lot of outcasts actually excel in a lot of things because they're really focused on the things they want to accomplish in life. But with the religious and trauma, and mommy, everyone has religious-ish trauma, I feel like, a lot. So you're not alone in that. But yeah, give yourself the time to be your true self. If it's just one person, if it's a group of people, if it's a bunch of strangers on the internet. I'm mostly a girl's boy best friend. So people make fun of me by saying I'm gay or zesty, like what the hell? Nah, that's their problem. Most of my friends are girls too. It's because a lot of the times I don't really click well with other guys, because a lot of guys tend to be bros and yeah, I don't do that. I'm a very artsy person. It's like letting the theater kid hang out with the jocks. Like, some of the jocks will be nice, but like for the most part, a lot of the times they won't just get along because they don't have anything to talk about. They just don't understand you. Okay. Thank you for writing in. I hope that maybe that helped a little bit. I don't know if it really did. Honestly, I don't feel very satisfied with that answer either. But thank you. Okay, this is a very serious one, it looks like, as well. Okay. Okay, this is guys, this is a very serious one. So please be very, very mindful. Please be very respectful about this one. If you don't, I won't hesitate to ban you, by the way. Thank you guys for writing in as well. I'll maybe take a couple more and then we'll probably end the stream. I like being friends with guys, but I only have a guy friend on Discord. I stopped talking to my IRL guy friend. Yeah. Honestly, gender doesn't matter, but a lot of the time is that like it's the whole like sort of vibe thing, you know. Everyone has a mask. What's your face underneath your YouTuber friendly mask? Insane, crazy. I don't know. Autistic maybe. I fucking love Zelda too much. I'm actually pretty lazy. I'm actually like ironically pretty lazy. Even though I tell myself I work hard, but I feel very lazy. Emotionally lazy as well. Okay. Sorry. We'll get back to this one again. So, again, this is a very, very serious one. Please be respectful. Please be kind to this person. Please do not, you know, be sarcastic. This is somebody who's really, really opening up. So I just want to open that up right now. Trigger warning on this one. It is self-harm and suicide. So yes. All right. Now that's out of that way. I also cut myself frequently because I want to do suicide, but my mind won't let me. So I let it out on my wrists because all I can remember when I think about suicide is my dear friend who would kill herself too if I did it. So I won't commit just so that she doesn't suffer as well. Yeah, that is you know, those thoughts are like they're intense. Ending life is a really, really, really strong emotion, guys. It's something that I can't comprehend. Even though I have experienced it myself, even I can't comprehend that sort of emotion. It's crazy. But I hope that you won't, is the thing. I hope that you won't. But you also have a sort of, you know, a heart that you care about people, and a heart that cares about people is a heart that the world needs more of. So, you know, I don't really have much to say about this other than the fact that you do have a kind heart, and you know, I think the world needs more of that. To have your dependency on one person, probably not very healthy. I don't know if you want to hear that, but you know, it's kind of true. Having a dependency on one person, you know, it's not good. But yeah. I always firmly believe that life, you know, life is precious. Yeah, you only get one of it, right? A lot of people underestimate the reach that they have in their life. Some people believe that, you know, to be successful or to really make a difference in the world, you have to be, you know, you have to have hundreds, thousands of fans or followers. You need to have people that really, really appreciate you, like tons of people that appreciate you. And the fact is that it's not true, because if you can make a difference to one person in your life, you've already changed the world, because that person's world has been changed because of you. Just the one person. And you don't need to change the entire world, but you've changed somebody's world. And I always think about that. And it's partially the reason why I do this segment too, is because I want to make a difference. And it's, you know, this doesn't do well in terms of numbers, but I also want to give people a place to feel like they can let something out, that they can feel safe. So, you know, whether or not that makes a difference to you, I just want to say that your life really does matter, because you're in my life now. Maybe not forever, but you entered my life and you're able to talk to me about this sort of stuff. And that's already huge to me, that you're able to open up to me, of all people. So that's, you know, you've already changed my world just by talking to me. And yeah, so thank you for writing in. I just wanted to, sorry, I gotta read this on. Yeah, okay, all right. I gotta read this. Hold on. Okay. Right. So this person writes in, I just want to tell somebody this and not get a rude response. Well, you've come to the right place. I'm crushed that my parents are getting a divorce. It just hurts so bad when I think about it. As a normal person, I would tell my closest friends how I feel, and they said older high school kids shouldn't cry over something like this. It's just a divorce. Get over it. I was shocked, and honestly, because this is the first time even my best friend something like this. This is a recurring thing. I told 6 friends, all told me to grow up and not cry and have panic attacks. I think what's mainly the problem is my age and gender. I'm a bore. Either way, it messes me up. Let me tell you, no matter what stage of life you are, whether you are 3, whether you're 8, whether you're 18, whether you are 38, divorces are always rough because your entire way of life is now changing. It doesn't matter really that you're about to become an adult. A source of stability in your life is now completely changing. So, they just really don't understand is what I gotta say. Is that they just really don't understand. And it's like you said before, your problem is that your age and your gender. You're an older high schooler who is a boy. At this point in life, a lot of people are probably telling you to man up, to be a man, to grow up, to have a stoic outlook on life, to be self-sufficient. That's a huge problem with masculinity, being a male. Is that we are told to always suppress these emotions, and it is important that you don't, because we're all human. We're social creatures. You don't shame a baby for crying, right? You don't shame a baby crying for help. The reason why we don't do that is because babies are generally helpless, right? And when you're not given the tools to help yourself, it's okay to cry for help. It's okay to let the emotions out, because not everyone is given the same tools to deal with the situations we're always put in. So, like I said before, your parents getting a divorce, even if you're an older high school student, a form of stability in your life is now falling apart. And that's rough. So, your way of life is changing. Your way of life is changing. People cry when they go out, when they move out of their parents' house and go to university and live in a dorm. Some people cry. Some people, when they move to a different country for work, they cry because their stability, the way of life as they know it has completely changed. And so as of right now, your life is completely changing. And that's why, it's normal for you to feel sad, to want to cry, to be upset, to have panic attacks, to be worried. So, yeah, I don't blame you for wanting to cry, to feel nervous, to feel afraid. You're going into something that you're not familiar with. And nervousness, anxiety is always going to be part of that. So, yeah. The fact that your friends say that, again, it's just because they don't understand. They really don't understand. They're not given. They have different tools. They have different tools in their life for dealing with that sort of stuff, and it's the stuff. And you don't have it. They're also not going through it. They don't have a sort of empathy towards it because they aren't feeling the same emotions as you are. So, thanks for writing in. Either way, yeah, it's, either way. It's good. All right. So if an adult says want to come over, that's weird, but a teenager says it's normal. It depends on context. If an adult said want to come over to me, I would come over because I'm an adult. If a teenager said it to me, I would say it's weird. It's all about context. Yeah, it really just depends. All right, next one. Let me just quickly read this one over in case there's some not so good stuff in it. Okay, yeah. Again, another serious one. Please be respectful. That's all I have to say is just please be respectful to everybody who writes in. Okay. All right, this next person says, I feel like I'll never be able to do the things I want in life. I never had a job before, and I dropped out of university because of mental health reasons. I have many interests, creative hobbies, and so many other things I want to learn or projects I want to work on, yet on a daily basis, I rarely get myself to do anything beyond the bare minimum, feeding myself, etc. It feels like I don't have enough time or energy for everything I want to do, and yet I don't even do barely anything right now. I feel like if or when I get a job, this will be even worse. I won't ever be able to do anything fun in life, only living day by day, coming home exhausted and a shell of myself repeating it the next day. I want to get better and progress in life, but I can't stop thinking, if I don't feel like enough right now, it will never be fine. If I'm not happy when I have all the time in the day to myself to do what I want, I never will. Right. So as somebody who has had a job, as somebody who has not had a job, as somebody who works on commission-based stuff, so I have work coming in at irregular intervals, I can tell you that the feeling will never go away. So I don't know if that's what you want to hear, but it will never go away. Because we are convinced that we need to be productive every single day. And not everybody can be productive every single day. I understand like the stress of feeling like you're doing the bare minimum, but you have to think about the gas in your tank. Think about the amount of food in your stomach. Some people have big stomachs. Some people have big tanks. Some people have a lot of emotional energy. Some people don't. What's kind of important is that if you feel like you're doing the bare minimum, it might be the bare minimum to somebody who has, you know, all the energy in the world. It's important to take one step at a time. Exactly. So when you feel like you're doing the bare minimum or you don't have enough time or energy to do the things you want to do, you might not have the time or the energy to do the things, even if it feels like the bare minimum. I struggle so hard because I need horizontal time. I call it horizontal time. But after every stream, and it's probably going to happen today too, but after stream, I'm likely going to have lunch and then lay down in bed for 45 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I will lay down in bed for 45 minutes, either be on my phone, watch YouTube, play a game. It is one of the worst feelings because I am technically self-employed on streaming days. So I put a heavy focus on being productive on those days, but there are days where I just can't. There are days when like I have to like for example, if I have to scrub a VOD or something, right? Some of the days I just cannot do it. I cannot be held accountable for it because it's so overwhelming, and there's a lot of stuff that I've done throughout the day. And if I don't scrub a VOD that day, I feel terrible. But like the thing is, I've already done the bare minimum of that day, which is stream, right? And streaming, it feels like it's not like it doesn't take a whole lot of energy. Actually, it does. It does for me because I'm actually very, very introverted. The thing that gives me energy to go through this entire stream is the fact that I'm able to talk about the things I'm interested in, and that I'm able to connect with people, to connect with you know, you know, what
people's interests are and to learn from it. So that's kind of like gives me energy. But as soon as the stream's over, I eat lunch, I fucking lay down for like 45 minutes. After that, I don't know what happens. Sometimes I get stuff done, sometimes I don't. Who made your model? Did you make it yourself? No, I paid somebody to do it. Think you're giving yourself more grace is important. Exactly. You know, don't feel like, because like bare minimum, you feel like it's bare minimum, but you know, a truck with a gas tank the same amount as a fuel efficient EV, the EV is going to go much further and much, like, you know, it's going to go much further than a truck that guzzles gas. Unfortunately, your brain and body are, you know, a gas guzzler of energy. So whereas you feel like it's, you know, not enough, chances are it's actually what your limit is. And I know it's probably not good to feel like, oh, this is the only thing I'm capable of. The thing is that like, if you are really, really passionate about the things that you want to get accomplished, you will have the time, you'll find the time, and you'll spare the energy for it. Even if it's like, you know, for example, if you like writing music, sorry, I talk about music a lot, but music has been a huge part of my life. Let's say if you like writing music, right? But, you know, it takes you 2 months to write a single song. You're still making you're still making the song. You're just able to get to it much slower. Some people can pump out 3 songs in a single day, but, you know, for you, maybe that productivity of 1 song every 2 months, you know, is fulfilling for you. It may not be fulfilling. You might want to do more, but like, there's nothing really stopping you, or there's something stopping you physically and mentally to be able to do that. You know, some people want to run as fast as a horse. Some people want to run up to 50 kilometers an hour. That's just not possible. We all want to be a little racehorse, but sometimes we're just a little workhorse. So, yeah, give yourself some time. Cut yourself some slack. You are doing your best. If you are you know, you feel like you could be doing more, but the fact is you're doing your best. One advice, I guess, if you want to maybe feel like you're doing a little bit more, just try to do one thing more each day. If it's as simple as brushing your teeth, and then next day flossing and brushing, and the next day flossing and brushing and mouthwash, you know, just like, you know, you're like, okay, well, I've done a little bit more today, and, you know, I should feel proud for that. And if you relapse back and you can only brush your teeth that day, you know, it's not the end of the world. The fact that you're able to push yourself is already a good sign. So, yeah. Cut yourself some slack. You're doing great. Okay. Okay. This one, I think, also deals with sexual harassment. So, let me just double check to see if there's anything bad in here. Ew. Yeah. So somebody writes in here, similar to the other message, there's a boy who has done some bad things to people at my school. It started in the sixth grade, from what I know, but basically he tries to become very good friends with a girl or 2 for a few months, and then once he thinks he's doing good, he manipulates and threatens the girls and says, give me money or things will get handsy and I'll dox you, which he has done to multiple people. He has done stuff to his 6-year-old sister, and the police were involved, but the only thing that happened, was his phone was taken away, but it hasn't happened to me personally. I'm just worried for the others since absolutely nobody did anything, and that's gonna be a hard truth of minors doing criminal things isn't taken lightly, or is taken lightly, I should say. They're like, oh, they're just being a little juvenile, they're whatever. 6th grade as in 12 years old, yeah. So they started doing this since they were 12, and that's fucked up. And if this continues, they're not going to be a good upstanding member of society, that's for sure. Not that everyone needs to be, but like, hey, it's the exact opposite of what we need right now. Boys will be boys. Yeah, the boys will be boys thing is always not an excuse. It's never an excuse. Raise your boy better. Yeah, again, I don't really have the same. I don't really have an answer. It's probably going to be exactly the same as the other one. But you know, I hate to be like, oh man, like there's nothing you can do about it. But like, you know, I feel like there's always something that you can do. Yeah. Even doing stuff to his younger sister is fucked up. That's crazy. Yeah. The best I hope is that he gets canceled on Twitter or something. Sorry, I'm throwing a little joke in there, but yeah, that's not cool. I'm sorry. I really feel for you. I do. So I'm sorry that that this person in your life exists. Yeah, it seems like a sex pest to me. So, give me money. Wow. Anyways, yeah, thanks for writing in. I'm sorry I don't really have any answers or any solutions or any sort of thing, anything constructive I can say to you other than what I've said before with the other one. But, yeah, the worst that can happen is you get the police involved. Yeah, it's rough, man. So sorry. I really wish I could say more, but there's nothing I can really say other than what I've said already. Okay, thank you for writing in though. Okay, I think this is gonna be the last one. I'll check. Hold on. This is gonna be last call. This is gonna be last call, guys. If you have anything you want to submit to me today, this will be the last call. We've got 2. I'll wait another about 3 minutes, and then that'll be the last. It'll be the last call-ins or the last write-ins. I don't think anybody has tried to call in today, so that's fine. Okay, let me check this. Oops. Okay. Okay. A little bit more of a more serious one again. Can you tell me what happened? Yeah. We're just going through some confessions, guys. Again, no judgment zone. Very heavy topics. So, all right. I think I need to tell my friend about my trauma, but I'm too scared. I have this best friend. He and I are basically attached to the hip. A bit about him, he teases, and I get that's just a part of him. I don't hate it, but it's a fact. It's fun to go back and forth. Sometimes he does one thing that kind of triggers me. He grabs my shoulders and arms a lot, not in a bad way. He'll just grab me in the halls and pull me over to talk to him, or if it's just rest his hand on my shoulder. But it's just the fact that in the past, I got essayed by an older woman. I'm a man if you need context. And now those spots are kind of weird to me. I've tried to find a way to be like, yo, I'm not a very physical guy, but then he'll innocently point out that I'm in contact sports and he won't stop. He thinks that I'm just scared of seeming gay, which I'm not. It's not malicious, but I think I should tell him, should I? So if you are basically attached to the hip, I think that's, you know, enough grounds to be like, yeah, I feel like I can open up to you about this. You know, preface it with a very, very serious tone. Be like, hey, listen, I haven't told anybody about this. I don't really feel comfortable talking about this with people, but, you know, I trust you a lot. And, you know, say things like, you do this thing where, you know, not in a bad way, that, you know, you'll grab me by the arms and shoulders and pull me aside and stuff. And, say that you were essayed by an older, and the thing is that's kind of freaky about this, and it's not taken seriously. Guys, boys can be essayed. Boys can be sexually assaulted by women, especially if there is a power difference. A lot of people are like, oh, that's all what guys want. Guys just want sex. Guys should feel like they're, you know, they should feel like a pimp whenever they get sex, even at a young age. And the fact is that's not true. The fact is that it can be very, very traumatizing, very much like a woman getting sexually assaulted by a man, at any age, whether they're older, they're younger, whatever, right? So that's you know, a lot of people will downplay the fact that men are, you know, that men can't be sexually assaulted, and that's just not true. It's actually not true. There's a thing called consent, and you know, not all people's brains are wired the exact same. So that's, you know, that's something that we should, that's the whole conversation we could have talking about that. Yeah. So I understand that, because I'm really, really weird about physical touch as well. So when you play sports, when you play contact sports like basketball or football, you know, you will have contact with other people. The problem is consent. You are going into the situation where you are willingly and knowingly going to be able to be touched by somebody or grabbed or whatever, right? That's your brain has already parsed the fact that you will be touched and you will be grabbed and you are safe in this context, because a lot of the time when you're playing sports, a lot of that stuff is not, you know, in a sexual way, or it's not, you know, it's expected. You know it's gonna happen, and you feel safe in that sort of in that situation. Whereas when you're in a social situation where you are just talking, and you know, you're just, you know, being a person, what has happened, from my assumption, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but a lot of the times, when guys are SA'd, when a lot of time when guys are sexually assaulted, they're in that exact situation where they're just talking, they're just, you know, casually, you know, being social and, you know, whatever, and then all of a sudden, you know, the person gets a little handsy and they start touching them in places where they don't feel comfortable, and then that now sets off a trauma response, because now that exact same sort of situation is playing out, not exactly, but like, you know, the environment is now the same, the atmosphere is very similar, where you're in a sport, completely different. It's like, yeah, you're like, you know, there's competition, you're in a mood where you're like going to smack the ball out of someone's hands, right? Whereas you're in a social situation where you're just talking, maybe you're playing a game or something, and all of a sudden you get, like, you know, touched on the shoulder, touched on the arm, and like you just, you know, it's a weird response like that. So yeah, so my advice to you is, because you are basically attached at the hip, if you feel comfortable opening up in such a way, and you know, and I feel like this is the type of person who might forget, because it's habitual to them to like want to, like, you know, because they're a touchy person, they like to grab and you know, hold and stuff. Twitch really added a guest speaker with camera. That's what, yeah. Camera should be disabled. Is somebody calling in today? No, that's fine. But yeah. But yeah, if you feel like, you know, this is a person who will listen to you, not just like hear you out, but actually listen and understand. I think this is, you know, I think it's a good to open up. I'll at least maybe test the waters by, you know, having a little bit more serious conversations before opening up about it. But, you know, when push comes to shove here, if it starts to become a problem, I think having a very serious conversation is, I think having a serious conversation is needed here. But yeah, thanks for writing in. I appreciate it so much. I hope that was helpful and maybe validating. Somebody was like, yeah, finally somebody said that men can't be SA'd. Okay, so I'm gonna close the inbox now. Thank you guys for writing in. These are gonna be the last two. All right, let's check it out. What's gonna done? How's this? Okay. Let me just check this one. Let me just proofread. I literally just like proofread these like like just before. I'm just simply a guy. Okay, yeah. So, this person writes in. I was in a relationship with someone for 6 months, and now it seems like he's moving on so quickly and has even told me he doesn't feel for me anymore. He has a new crush now, and he has new friends and new potential interests. Was any of it real? That's what I ask myself and it makes me question my self-worth. I wonder if he meant it when he said he loved me. How do I move on, and when I know I'm holding on for selfish reasons? So whether or not it was real to him, it was real to you. And I think that's the important part that you should think about. Not necessarily that if it was real to him, but for you, it was real. Whether or not he held on to those promises that he made, you know, that's something that is kind of gone now. So, the reality is, some people take more time to move on than others. So, if it has to take you a year where it takes him a week, yeah. The problem that comes up a lot with breakups and moving on is that when it happens, one person has already checked out long before the breakup actually happens. So the fact that you waited to 6 months is actually really impressive. Normally it lasts 3 months. So the fact that it lasted 6 months is kind of impressive. But yeah, 6 months is 6 months is a lot of time. It's half a year. Think about that. Half a year where you're in a relationship with somebody, and then now they're gone, and now they're that you know, that bond is not the same. So yeah. When I said before, like, that somebody has checked out long before the breakup has actually happened. So, like, if you think about it this way, right? Nobody ever actually breaks up with somebody on the spot. There's usually things that happen over the course of the time, right? So it's like, it's like, I'm thinking like examples, but no one is like, okay, I don't like you anymore. It's usually a degradation of emotional connection over time, and that's pretty much how it is. So where for you it ended 6 months in, maybe for them it ended 2 months in, and they kept with it. And it's harsh to think about that, but that's generally what happens, is that the thoughts are of breaking up usually take root a lot earlier than the actual date, months in advance. Usually when a relationship usually lasts 3 months, 3 months is usually the time in which you get to know somebody, right? So I don't know if this is the case with this person, but probably around the 3 month mark is when they're like, I don't think I like this relationship. So at that point, he probably checked out 3 months in advance. And then by the time the 6th month rolled around, he was already like way out of it. But you were still fully invested. So that's kind of like the difference between being able to move on and somebody who's not able to move on and somebody who is able to move on, is that this person, the guy who broke up with you, or I don't know who broke up with whatever, they were already given that time to process the breakup because in their mind it already ended. Yeah. So, where they were given, the ability to cope with that throughout the 3 months, right? Let's say, for example, it was the 3 months. So like, let's say they already kind of like decided they weren't really into the relationship 3 months in. They had 3 months with you to be like, I don't really know. I don't think I really like this. I like, oh, there's, I have the ability to like disconnect, right? So they have the ability to wow, I can't speak today. They have the ability to disconnect because they were given the time with you to be able to do that. You did not have that same time. It's going to take a lot longer for you to get over it because now you have to deal with disconnecting without a sense of support. So, don't feel bad that am I holding on to selfish reasons? You're holding on to the reasons you thought was there, the reasons why you thought were real. And the fact is that your emotions of this person, your feelings for this person was real. The sad fact is that this person wasn't able to keep the promises over the span of the time, So, disconnecting with a sense of support is a baller line. Yeah, no, it's true though. Like, again, no one kind of just decides to break up and then boom, it's over, right? No, this person has had the thought of breaking up, the thought of it, not the fact that they wanted to, but the thought that they, is this the right person for me? Whereas you were like, this is the right person for me. This person's like, I don't know, I'm checking out, but they're putting their stuff in boxes. Like imagine this, like you're moving out of an apartment, right? The apartment is your relationship. The person's already gotten time to put their stuff in boxes and, put everything away. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're being evicted, right? Their stuff is in boxes already. They can just get the fuck out of there. You have to dismantle your bed, your desk. You need to put all your stuff in boxes. You need to get out of that situation. But you're stuck having to pack everything away and having the support for it. So the fact that you need time isn't the fact that, oh, I'm taking more time. It's the fact that you didn't have enough time. You didn't have enough time to process it. You didn't have enough time to think about it. So, don't feel like your self-worth and your emotions were invalid, or if he ever loved you, because in the moment maybe he did. Yeah, in the moment maybe he did love you, but then he realized he didn't. And because feelings can change. So that's all I really have to say about that. Yeah, so yeah, you're not holding on for selfish reasons. You're hanging on because what you thought was real ended up being broken a long time ago. So healing is an active thing. Exactly, healing is an active thing. Healing isn't linear. Some people take months, some people take years. you know, so yeah, thanks for writing in. I appreciate it. Okay, we're on the last conversation topic of today, unless somebody decides to call in. But I think I'm gonna end call-ins as well. So thank you guys for joining in. This last one, let me just proofread this, or not proofread it, but just like scan it real quick. Okay, yeah, this is a rough one, guys. This is another rough one, so please be respectful. Trigger warning: this has to deal with child abuse, and family issues. So, when will the stream end? Probably 12:30. Again, I'm not a trained professional, guys. So take my advice as some guy on Reddit. But, you know, sometimes Reddit is right. Okay. All right. So, it's already up. I forgot to press the button. All right. I grew up with a single mother that physically abused me as a child, and as I grew older, they would tell me almost every day that I ruined their life by being born and that nobody would love me. I've cut them out ever since I turned 18, but a lot of how they treated me affects me on a subconscious level. I find myself having low self-esteem, lack of confidence, and assuming that everyone must hate me and that I do not belong. This has affected how I socialize, and I constantly worry about how others perceive me. Do you have any advice on how to break out of this cycle? Off the top of my head, no, but let's talk about it. So, single mother. So already, I will say, because single mother, there was a lack of a father figure. So that is already a problem. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of fact, right? There's an absence of a father figure. I don't know if your mother dated while you were a child and then therefore you had a father figure of some sort. I'm just gonna assume that this wasn't the case, but yeah, your mother would berate you and, you know, tell you, like, I think one of the worst things to tell a child is tell the child that you made their life worse simply by existing, because that is a huge emotional burden as a child. Yeah, that's not cool. I cut them out ever since I turned 18. Yeah, and as you honestly should. But to break this sort of cycle, I guess generational trauma, I guess, is what it is at this point. I have no idea. Sorry, I'm just reading through this right now. In that situation, I find it's good to find someone that understands you, that can be flexible with you and your problems. That's pretty good. I would say that's true. At your age now, I have no idea how old you are now, but you're at least 18. You're an adult. It's man, I don't know. I'm stun locked. You got me stunned. Low self-esteem and lack of confidence, and assume that everyone must hate me, that I do not belong. That is definitely a trauma. That's definitely a trauma response. That's all I gotta say. And I constantly worry how others perceive me. Yeah, I think looking for minor affirmations is something that would help you a lot. Something that's not so like an affirmation is going up to somebody and be like, hey, or you know, going up to a friend and be like, do you hate me? And they say no, right? Obviously that's a very, very direct way of affirmation, but like look for the small affirmations as well with your friends. One of the things that I've noticed a lot with my friends when it comes to affirmations or minor affirmations is when they think about you, or when they send you something, or when they talk to you and they bring up something that you brought up before. That's a minor affirmation that they're paying attention to you, that they care about you. Think about the minor affirmations in your life from friends, or potential lovers even. And you know, look at those small moments. It's really easy to forget about them. It's really easy to forget about the small moments in life, because like the bigger ones are obviously going to stand out more. But like, think about it this way. What about the negative affirmations? We always think about like what is it? What's that word I'm looking for? Affirmation bias. Yeah, sorry. We always think about affirmation bias, but like, let's think about deconfirmation bias, right? So like, what about the moments where people have perceived you negatively? Is there a case where it has, or are you just overthinking it? Like, a lot of the time, I think I'm extremely annoying. I'm extremely like over the top, and I'm like callous and whatever. And a lot of the times, people have not had a negative experience about me being over the top and sarcastic. And sure, like, there are times where I've noticed that it was inappropriate to do it, but that's on me. That's on me for not reading the room properly, right? But in a general sense, me being sarcastic and me being like silly, like that has not been a problem. So yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, when it comes to affirmation, and negative affirmation as well, look for the small moments in life where you feel like, and this at least comes from the self-esteem and confidence part, or like how others perceive you. Look for like small moments like that, because it's really easy to just forget about those. As for like low self-esteem and lack of confidence, I have no idea how to deal with that in generational trauma. And maybe there is someone out there that can help you with that, but unfortunately I'm not the person who can, especially when it comes to generational trauma. See, the thing is, I'm a spiteful person. So when somebody says you're not good enough, I'll be like, just, oh yeah, watch me. So that's pretty much, that's me. That's me though. That's probably not you. But I'm a spiteful person because of things like that. They're like, when somebody thinks lowly of me, I tend to prove the wrong. But yeah, that's yeah. Yeah. How to break out of that cycle, man. I wish I could tell you. Maybe somebody in chat could help you out, but that's pretty much all I have to say about it. That's the only really advice I can give. I'm sorry that the response got me a little stun locked. I had no idea what to say. So, and sometimes I don't need to say anything. I don't need to tell you everything. I'm not a professional. I'm not a, you know, I'm here to make you feel heard. Not necessarily to solve your problems, right? So I just want you to feel heard. And I know you're specifically asking for advice, but unfortunately I don't. But yeah, generational trauma is big. I think that maybe the next thing, I don't know if you're planning on ever having kids, but I think one of the important parts, if you are planning to have kids, is that you now have the frame of reference of a toxic parent. And so if you do, not saying that you will, or if you're thinking about it, but the whole if part, if you're thinking about having kids, now you have a frame of reference on what's how not to be a toxic parent. So that is one positive. I don't know if it's going to apply to you, but yeah. All right. Thanks you guys for joining. Thanks guys for joining. I really like having this segment. because I get to talk from the heart, for real. And I know it's not the best content. It's not the easiest content. It's not the best. It's not probably not the best, right? It's probably not. I'm probably not the best person to talk about this either. But you know, I like having you guys around and having you guys open up and feel safe. I'm glad that you guys, some of you guys have even wrote in today. I wrote this because I don't want a rude answer. And the fact that you guys were able to write in and feel comfortable doing that was already a compliment enough for my community, not to me, but my community, that everybody here is respectful and everybody here is willing to give advice and willing to listen. And I feel like there's not enough space on the internet for that. And I hope that maybe feeling heard, it's at least lifted some sort of weight off of your chest. Maybe not the whole weight, but at least, you know, you've got it off your chest. You've heard, you feel heard today. So forget about the past and keep moving forward. Yeah. I mean, I don't always 100% agree about that. I feel like it's good to remember the past, but not to be chained down by it. Before we go, I just want to say you're awesome. It's okay if you can't answer every question. Yeah. I just want you guys, again, I just want you guys to feel heard. I feel like I haven't given enough of that in my life, and now I'm making up for it. But yeah, thank you guys for feeling safe. Thank you guys for opening up to me. Thank you guys for wanting to feel heard. A really, really surprising lack of negative people. Yeah, no, I'm so surprised people aren't coming in here and making fun of people, especially since I'm on Shorts, guys. I'm streaming on Shorts right now, and I'm genuinely surprised that people aren't coming in here and being malicious and mean. So I already feel like you guys, not me, but you guys are really running this community in a positive way. I'm just the guy who's here. I'm just the guy who you look at while I'm answering. This is really a community thing, guys. So, yeah, I appreciate that you guys give me the opportunity to do this as well. So, yeah, it's rough. Anyways, I hope that your day is great. The rest of your day is great. The rest of your night is great, whatever time it is for you. We'll be coming back this evening with Zelda. If you guys want to be a bit more lightheartedness, come back this evening for some Zelda. Tomodachi Life is coming out. And I'm looking forward to playing that. I have tea time every Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday morning. So if you're looking forward to some tea time, some more, just basically some lighthearted stuff, some fun, some wacky silliness, you can always come back. I'm hoping to do some more Dear Dolce, at least once a month. So, I look forward to hearing from you guys again. And, I hope you guys feel safe here. Anyways, I don't know what time it is for you guys, but I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I have socials and stuff. I have a Discord. I have a Twitter. That's all. Keep up with the Kardashians. Just kidding. Keep up with the Dolce. I hope you guys drink a lot of water. I think I need to drink some water myself. All right. Goodbye, everybody. 有冇乖乖快起早？有冇乖乖快起早？有冇乖乖快起早 ？One more thing。哎呀。